Hello, my name is Ben Morgan, and in this Python tutorial, I'm going to teach you guys how to make a Python file from Python 2.7 be converted into an EXE file. And if you've ever wanted to distribute a program to other people, say you wrote like a game or something, like a text-based RPG game, um, most people would have a hard time, trying to install Python on their computer and run it. They don't want to worry about that. And you don't want them to worry about that because maybe that would make them not want to run your game. So what you would want to do is make an exe file. And .exe files can be run on any Windows computer. They can't be run on Macs, unfortunately. I don't really know if there's a way to convert Python files into files that Macs could execute without Python installed on the computer. But yeah, that's what is cool about an exe file is that anybody can run it. They don't have to have Python installed on their computer, and yeah, it all works. Now the problem with this method, we're going to be using a program called Py2exe, and it's a really cool program. But one of the downfalls to it is that it only works with Python 2.7. That is the latest version that it supports. So if you have a file in Python 3 or higher, any modules or any modules that you imported, you'll have to either change the name or delete them altogether because some of them aren't supported, and you have to change the syntax a little bit. But yeah, this unfortunately is the only way to do it. There are other methods, but this is the best method that I found. So obviously, first you'll have to go to python.org and download Python 2.7 if you don't already. And also py2exe.org, the number 2. You're going to want to download it over here. Download this one, Windows 32 Py2.7. It's the most popular one, obviously, because it's the latest version. And yeah, you're going to want to install that. And it's not going to install correctly unless you have Python 2.7 installed on your computer already. So keep that in mind. And also, on the python.exe.org website, there's a tutorial page, which is really helpful. It helped me figure out how to get started. So we're going to kind of follow that. I'm going to teach you, what you're going to need to do. So the first thing you're going to have to do is create your, Python script that you're going to convert into an exe. So we're going to do just something really simple, and we don't even need to make it in like, idle or anything like that. We're just going to make it a notepad, okay? So this is just going to be a simple hello world application. So all it's going to do is print, quote, hello, world. And then also in the end, we're going to do input, or actually in this case, raw input. And it'll just be empty quotes. And what that's going to do is make it so that after this gets printed, the command window doesn't just close automatically. It's going to wait for us to press enter to close. And what this does is it allows us to be able to see our program, and it's a little trick that I've learned. Okay, so what we're going to do is save this, and save it in a folder that the path to, and you're going to go all files down here, all files, and save it as hello_world.py. Make sure there are no spaces in it, and make sure there's .py at the end. And you save it, and that's that. Now, if you go to this Py2exe page, you'll see here that they have this little script setup.py, and right here is the text that you need in your setup.py file. So we're just going to click toggle line numbers to get rid of those little numbers, and select all this, and press Control-C to copy, and go to Notepad, File New, Control-V to paste. And this is the code that we need to have in our setup.py file. And all this, doesn't really make sense to me Maybe you understand it, maybe you don't. It doesn't really matter. All that you need to know is that this file right here, this is the name of the file that you're going to convert into the EXE. So make sure this is changed to hello_world.py. That's it. There's no path or anything that you have to worry about. All you have to worry about is that it's in the same folder as your file that you're converting to an EXE. Setup.py has to be in the same folder. So file, save as, in the same folder. For me, it's tutorial. Save it as all files. Make sure you do that, or else it's not going to work as a Python file. Save it as setup.py. Okay. And now, if you, for some reason, forgot to do all files and you did text, it might say setup.py in your folder, your folder when you're looking at it. But if it doesn't have this little Python logo next to it, it's not a script. It's a text script. So make sure you are saving it as all files and doing .py. Okay. So the next thing we're going to have to do is go into our command window and run these programs. So to get that open, you do Windows key R to run and type in cmd. Okay, so command window. And a few things about the command window if you didn't know. To change the path of your file, you see here it just says C users Ben. You do CD and then the next folder in that path. So for me it'd be documents. And if I wanted to go back a folder, you do CD ... and it'll go back. So, but for me, I actually do want to go to documents. Then I have a scripting folder. Then I have a tutorial folder. Okay, so something you're gonna have to have done if you haven't already, in order to run a Python file from your command window, is to have Python 2.7 set in your environment variables in your computer. So it's actually pretty easy to do this. What you have to do first is find on your computer where you have Python installed. For me, it's C Python 27. You can see here, if you just go to your disk and find Python 27 and click on this, this is the path that you have. So it should say C:\/ Python 2.7 or 2.7. So what you do is you go to Start button, right click on the computer and go to Properties, and then go to Advanced System Settings. It might be different for your version of Windows, but it should be kind of the same. You can look up any specifics if you get confused. Then you go to Environment Variables, okay? And if you scroll down here in System Variables, you'll see Path. Click Edit and be very careful, but you'll see here I have C, that path to Python right after all this stuff, separated with this semicolon. So put a semicolon and then the path to your Python folder, and you'll be able to run Python files from your command prompt, from your command window. So you'll see if I were to press if I were to type Python to call Python, and then hello_world.py, it runs the hello world program, and you can see it printed hello world, and it's waiting for me to press enter. If I press enter, then it goes back to that window. So that's how you run a Python file from your command prompt. So what we're going to do now is do a little scripting, little lines of code. So here you can see it says Python setup.py install. So make sure you're in the directory to your two files and type Python setup.py install, and it'll run some stuff. And this is all assuming that you, I misplaced them. Python setup.py, invalid syntax. Okay, so this is in the file setup.py, we have invalid syntax. So let's look at it. Okay, I'm missing I'm missing a little, can't think of what that is called. Smooth bracket, I don't know. Parenthesis, that's it. Okay, so, sorry, that was a specific problem to me. So save, let's try it again. Python setup.py install. Okay, so it's gonna run all this stuff and you can see it finished. Next, the line of code that you have to do is this right here. Python setup.py Py2exe. So it's gonna call this Py2exe program that we have downloaded and installed. So Python setup.py Py2exe. Enter. And you'll see here that it's creating all this new stuff, doing lots of complex code that I don't understand, and it's done. So if we go to our folder, you'll see that we have two new folders, one called dist and one called build. And inside the dist for distribution folder, you'll see we have hello_world.exe. So if we double click it, it runs the program, hello world. So yeah, that's pretty cool. And if you just press enter, it cancels it. So that's, obviously really useful. And something that I've started to do is select all this stuff in the folder, right click, cut, and paste it in here. Simply because it allows the user, when they download the file, to see, hello_world.exe and not have to go through the folders to find it. And so you see this is an empty folder now, so we can even delete it if we wanted to. It runs exactly the same if you do that, and it just allows for, an easier user experience. And the reason we have to put them all in here is that if we just were to move the exe file, it doesn't run if you do that. Probably something to do with them having to be in the same folder, something like that. So yeah, that's just something that you should keep in mind. You want to make sure it's easiest for your user to do. So yeah, that's how to convert a Python file into an exe file. And so I'll show you guys a little thing that I've been doing. I've been doing this little German vocabulary program. I call it the Wörterbuch. Wörterbuch. I don't know if that's correct German pronunciation, but you can see here that it's a more complex program. But I did it the same exact method, and it's oh yeah. So not gonna show you guys my bad German, but you can do more complex programs with this. You can have modules with it. All you have to make sure is that it works in Python 2.7 for it to run. So that is how you convert a Python file into an exe file. Thank you for watching.